Welcome to Women of Fruit Magazine. My name is Vonnie Judge, and I'm so glad that you're here with us today. Today, I wanted to talk to you about, have you ever heard of, do you want to be on top? The next top model? Well, of course, you've heard Tyra Banks has asked that question many times. And so when you think about the modeling world and the modeling industry, for many years, it has been such a mystery. So when you think about what she has done and transformed the industry and how she has opened, allowed cameras to come in and actually see what actually happens in a model's life. But that is just a show. That just gives you just a little bit of what is necessary to be the America's Next Top Model. But I'm so excited today that we have Miss Nita Nesbitt, who is with Industry Direct, who helps not only has she been on top and done the modeling, but she's also helped those who are interested in that industry to be on top. So thank you for coming, Miss Nina.
Oh, thank you for having me, Vonnie. It's wonderful to be here.
Yes. So tell people a little bit about your career, because it's exciting.
Well, I started out about 35 years ago.
Oh, it's all right.
Started out a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
I did something called the International Model and Talent Association. It's a huge convention, and that's where I picked up my international agency, and I picked up my commercial, and I worked out of New York, LA, mm-hmm. Paris, Germany. So I got to travel the world and do quite a bit in terms of the runway scene. So I have a passion for the industry, which was my transition to helping other people do it.
That's awesome, because as you know about the industry, it is such a mysterious thing, because most people, especially, they have been victimized because they don't know what to do to get into the industry. So how did you get started?
Well, for me, I learned the hard way, Vonnie. I mean, I can't sit here and say, oh, it was easy. Someone discovered me, plucked me off the streets of New York, and took me gallivanting around the world. It didn't happen that way.
Right.
I learned the hard lessons, and I teach the real deal. So when people come to me and it's like, how do I get started? Mm-hmm. I tell them about the pitfalls because I fell in them. I tell them about, some of the challenges that they have. And, for me, it's kind of one of those things where you don't understand how your purpose is being developed.
Yes.
So for right now, today, to think that everything that I went through before was for this moment in time, for me to be able to seed into other people's lives and to tell them that no is a sentence. It's an adjective, it's a verb. No means no. And it's okay to have a no spirit in this industry, because there's just some things you'll do and you won't do. But I help people to understand the difference.
Wow, that is empowering, because, a lot of times when they see, especially shows like the America's Next Top Model and things like that, and they feel like it's going to be just as easy. Even with that show, there's a lot of competition. And so there's times when, you don't look like the part as far as what someone who's actually trying to book you for. So no means
is a sentence.
Yeah.
And it's okay, and it goes on both sides, because for some people the dream is so big it's worth sacrificing everything.
Wow.
I learned that the hard way. You give up relationships, you give up all these things, and then you get there and it's like, wait a minute, it's empty.
Wow.
There's nothing here. So then you know that you're out of purpose. And what I recognize now in helping people is that I know I'm in purpose because I know that I'm pleasing God, because it feels good.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It works out. You understand that God's purpose is pleasing. It's not going to have you do things and sacrifice your morality and put you out there in ways that God would not be pleased. Your family wouldn't be pleased.
Right.
So I'm able to actually help people and direct them. And I'm tough. I'm firm, but I'm fair, Vonnie. I tell you.
You have to be.
Yeah, because
it's a business.
It is a business, but people have this idea that they can just step into this industry and they need to show this and do this, and they can hang out with this person and drink and do. No, honey, you don't have to do it. You can have a standard, because you actually show people how to treat you in this industry.
Wow, and it is important, because as you was talking about, the different things that people can actually encounter, going into this industry, whether it's, I have heard people have been, girls have been raped, putting themselves in compromising positions just in order to get a deal, or if they
Yes, it's true.
It is, and to me, it's like astonishing that, I think sometimes it's innocent. They feel like, well, if they do this or they compromise their integrity or do something in order to get ahead, and a lot of times they fall in that pitfall of, lost hopes and, lost promises. And so I'm thankful that you are one of those, those in the industry that can actually help
Yes.
coach and mentor, I think you start with young kids. How
I
old?
do. For me, I start with building self-esteem because people make decisions based on their level of self-esteem.
Yes.
So if you're broken and beat up already, so by the time you step into this industry, you're looking for that attention in the wrong place because you don't have any self-esteem. You lack in confidence. So I start very early with building the self-esteem, helping them understand who they are and why they're so precious and why they're so valuable and how they can go into any industry as long as it's their purpose. You can't fight against it. You have to go with purpose. And I applaud parents that support their kids that do this as well.
So I'm excited about when you keep saying purpose.
Yes.
And purpose, because we think it's photos, but it's like it's purpose. So that is truly something that I don't think that in this industry that they talk about. They just say, do you have the face? Do you have the image? Is it sellable? Those are the things that they're talking about. So when you think about the industry, and I know you said it's about 35 years or whatever, but how much change have you seen? Have you seen it being more, as far as, having maybe more integrity? Because you see a lot of these scouting agencies that's everywhere. Is it more integrity in the industry?
I think integrity is a personal choice. I don't think it's a business choice.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? So in this industry, I think when you come to the table with whatever skills you have and resources you have, that has to be based on a level of integrity. And then you have people to treat you based on what you bring to the table. Okay. So the industry has changed tremendously. You have social media now, which is huge. We didn't have that back in the day.
We did
not. We barely had email. So
don't talk about it. You're aging us.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So now to see that in an instant, agents want to know before I place, I do placement. So I scout, I develop, and then I place them with agencies. Now the first thing agents want to know is how many Twitter followers do they have? How many Facebook friends do they have?
Wow.
Did they start? Yeah, because they know that this person is valuable based on the following.
Wow.
It's no longer just based on the face. The face is not enough. And when you look at covers of magazines, they're actors and actresses.
Right.
Long gone are the models that really grace the cover of these magazines. It's changed.
It definitely has changed, because now that you mentioned that, I didn't really think about it like that, because, of course, we do see a lot of actors and actresses that are crossing over because of the face. But then again, is it the face or is it the following, like you're saying?
The face is a lot more valuable with a couple of million following, with 500,000 followers. You have a YouTube channel now. Do you do,
So it's some work, it's some background work that you have to.
And they do. And that's why in this industry now, you've got to be on the up and up now. You can't have these things because people judge you by your social media presence.
Oh, wow.
So an agent will drop you or pick you up based on that.
Wow, that is amazing. Because one of the other things that I wanted to talk about is the imaging. Because I remember that Amy Schumer that just recently was in the news because of the fact that she was on Glamour magazine, and they categorized her as a plus size model. And I remember even when, American Top Model, when they were talking about, it was a big thing when Tyra was like, oh, we're going to have, a plus size model competition. And so how, when you think of the industry, have you seen a lot of changes when it comes to what they're looking for as beyond just the following?
Absolutely. I think the whole plus size market, because ultimately I transitioned to the plus size myself, and
still look fabulous.
and it was amazing. But what I find is that I think now designers are getting more on board now because that's where the money is. The people that are buying the garments are not the models walking down the runway. They're the people that have the income, that have the stability, that can go out there and purchase these kinds of garments. They even have full figure men now.
Wow.
Yes, 6'4", almost 350 pounds of solid handsomeness.
I'm sorry, handsomeness.
But they are doing that now, so it's constantly changing. I think because mindsets are changing about the industry, and you have to you got to keep up with the times.
And that's awesome, because one of the great things, I feel that regardless of size and things of that nature, I think that because we are not built all the same. And I think at one time it was like, you have to be a size 2, you have to have maybe blonde hair, blue eyes, or if you're black, you have to be light skinned, and and so I just see a lot of changes, and when it comes to images, and that we all have have beauty.
Yes.
And
yes.
so I think that is something that's remarkable. Well, tell people how can they reach you and get in contact with you, because they need you in this industry, especially to muddle through this muddy waters, and to get to the runway.
Well, what I do is I scout models, I develop them and market them. I usually start from the age of 7 and up.
Okay.
I'm right on Ashley Phosphate Road. Industry Direct is the name of the company. Industry Direct Model and Talent Placement. I'm at 3618 Ashley Phosphate Road, right there in North Charleston. So you get off the highway from anywhere, come from anywhere. I have people that come to me from New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Atlanta, North Carolina. So the highway works for everyone.
You know, it does, especially when they see your background and you've been everywhere and you know so much, and so that you are truly a valuable, asset to anyone that works with you in the industry.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for sharing. So if I ever want to be on the runway, I know who to call.
Well, yeah, there you go.
Thank you so much. Please come back and see us.
I will. Thank you for having me, Vonnie.